Hello and welcome to 2x2, brought to you by the Ark of E network. My name is Noah, and this is a brand new monthly series where I sit down and talk about two of my favorite things from the given mediums that we cover here at the Ark of E network. And sometimes a guest will join me, and I am in great luck today to have Mr. Nathan Hussey, Music Ark producer, artist in his own right, frontman of all get out. Are you a frontman if you're just a solo artist of Hussey? I don't know. You can answer that in just a second. But yes, the one, the only, Nathan Hussey is here for the first episode of 2x2. Thank you. Say hello.
Hey guys. Thanks for having me, Noah.
Yes. You have been behind the scenes here at the network for quite a while.
Yes.
Editing episodes of the Music Ark. That started pretty hardcore with When the Sun Sets East, and that was kind of when the Music Ark exploded, if you will.
Very hardcore.
Yes. So thank you on mic for like the thousandth time. Thank you very, very much, sir. But it's nice to finally be able to... Yes. Go ahead.
I'm glad people finally get to, know who to credit.
Yeah.
For the podcast, you guys talk, but really it's all me.
That's where the magic happens. 100%. Could not agree with you more.
That didn't land the way I wanted it to.
It landed with me, but it's going to be compliments all around. I don't know if you listened to the year-end episode that you edited. Maybe you just breezed past this, but of course we did have you on the list, and that got awkward in and of itself.
I hear everything 3 times as many times as you do.
Yes, I would imagine. So, yeah, basically introducing the format of the show. I'm still kind of figuring out what it is, but the basic idea is towards the end of every month, I'm going to hop on mic. If I can arrange to have a guest, that's fantastic. If not, it'll just be me. But it'll kind of be, just an overview of what I've been enjoying that month. Doesn't have to be new or current. Could be really old. But, yeah. And basically the core focus, we're doing movies, we're doing TV, and we're doing music, of course. We decided to premiere here on the Music Ark because, well, this is the stuff that you edit, specifically. You are a musician. So maybe we should kick it off with music.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am going to go ahead and hit me with one of yours. Maybe we'll trade back and forth.
Well, I would like to... It's a good year for people like us, music freaks.
Yes.
Who like the late 90s and early 2000s, because Pedro the Lion is back.
Yes. Which I didn't actually know until today when you told me.
Snap.
That this album was on your, and I was like, I recognize Achilles' Heel.
Right.
And then I go to Spotify and I was like, oh, January 18th, Phoenix. Okay. So I listened to about half of it before we sat down here today. And
man.
Yeah.
It's so good. And it's hard to top, like whenever, and I know it's just a moniker and it's the, it's David Bazan, but there is actually, just by giving it name, something changed again, I feel like. And it could be the recording approach, it could be more time or more money, I don't know. I like to fantasize that it's, by giving it name, it's a shift. And the album is just incredible. I'm hooked on Circle K right now.
Okay.
One of my favorite songs, and it makes me... A lot of this record reminds me... I didn't grow up in Phoenix, but it reminds me of these simple childhood things. Like blowing all your money at a gas station. Which I've done in my adult life many times as well.
Myself included. Yes, sir.
But, like, I don't know. It's an interesting record to me because a lot of the topics I would never dream of attempting because it would sound kind of cheesy or it just wouldn't hit right. Mm-hmm. But he's so comfortable in just what the album's about that he just nails it. and it's a really, really good record. It's mostly guitars, which I'm a big fan of. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to, fully digesting it. I'm looking at the actual track listing now and realizing I didn't start it in order. I think I was on just their main feed on Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought Yellow Bike was the opener, and I was going to shout that one out specifically. But you said Circle K is your favorite?
No, Yellow Bike you can roll with, because Sunrise is just like an intro track.
Gotcha.
It's a minute.
Oh, no. Then I did start it from the beginning. Never mind.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
Gotcha. So you're saying Circle K. Let's go with that one. I'll drop that into this episode right here. Everybody can listen to it.
Got a little allowance from doing chores. Saving up for a Santa Cruz skateboard. Kid sister said, how much have you saved? I calculated, then hung my head in shame. I spent it all at Circle K. Dreaming it was only pocket change.
Okay. So I guess I'll hit you with one of mine.
Hit me.
Both of mine from 2017. One album that actually made my top 10, the other of which totally slipped under my radar, and I'm like kind of discovering for the first time. But I'll go with the first one. A Deeper Understanding from The War on Drugs, which I think cracked my top 5 of 2017. I forget. Have to go back and listen to that episode. Plug for earlier episodes of the Music Ark. Go check those out.
This album is an hour and 6 minutes long, and it is 10 songs.
Yes.
Holy hell. I haven't heard this.
The intro track alone, which should be enough to sell you, is about 5.5 minutes, and you're like, this is one of the most amazing intros I've ever heard. Anyways, they've been around for a while. Are you familiar with Kurt Vile?
A little bit, yes.
Okay, I am not, admittedly, but he was formerly in the band for the first handful of albums. The lead guy, I struggle to say his name, and I don't want to butcher it.
It's okay.
Hold on just a second. Adam Graducci? I'm so sorry.
We'll land with that.
UCL? I'm not sure.
G.
But yeah, he's pretty much the core of the band at this point. And Deeper Understanding, it's a very introspective record.
Love that.
A lot of different vibes, but it has a very old school feel to it. I think it's actually produced by Jimmy Iovine, if I'm not mistaken. And it has a little bit of that, like, mid 80s, like, alternative Springsteen to it. Just in terms of tone of some stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
But I check it out. I'm probably not describing it that well, but I think it would be up your alley. And some of, I mean, you just said huge fan of the pod. Sorry, I'm getting an incoming call. I have no idea what this is. 2 seconds.
It's okay.
Oh my god.
Grand Duchiel, by the way.
Thank you. Much better pronunciation than me.
I used the Apple speech function.
Oh, that's what that was.
Nerd.
I couldn't tell if that was my phone or yours. Okay. There we go. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that at all. Oh,
we were talking about the producer.
You are a guitar guy, as you just said, and some of the most like amazing guitar playing I've heard in recent memory. I think you'll dig it.
Yes, it has surrounded me.
Well, hell yeah.
So check that out and hit me with your number 2 music-related item for the month.
Music related. Well, I was going to go in series with the Pedro thing. But now I think I want to go back. And here's why. One, I talk about Pedro Lion all the time.
This is true.
Can we talk about a playlist?
We sure can, yeah. Shout it out.
God, where did it go? Oh, there it is. So I just got Spotify. I've been an Apple Music guy for a long time. I don't know. I just like the seamlessness of iPhone, MacBook, Apple Music. Anyways, I finally discovered playlists. Holy shit, they changed my life. This one's called Gold School. And the reason it's great is because whenever I hit play, it started with DMX. And it was a DMX song I had never heard before. God, I gotta find it. Oh, Jesus. How's It Going Down?
How's it going down? Okay.
It just got me. It was like he's a little chill in the song, but he's also DMX, so it's kind of like...
Of course.
Just a hair aggressive, but it just pokes its head out just a little bit.
Almost like a dog on a leash, perhaps?
It just... Oh.
On a really short leash? I don't know.
Yeah. The pun works. Let's see.
Guess. We like to... Dude, feel free to throw in as many puns as you can think of. We're very fond of them here at the Ark of E Network.
When it comes to the Gold School playlist, I cannot make puns.
Okay.
I will butcher it.
All right. Well,
but
you're making me want to actually use Apple Music, so you're already selling me on it.
No, I'm on Spotify.
Never mind.
I switched. That's where I found the playlist.
Gotcha.
And I'm kind of lazy too. That's what happens with me. It'll be time for music, so I'll just hit play on whatever's on there, and so it'll just be the same Pedro record.
Right.
But now every day on the homepage, it's just like a million playlists. Anyways, that's my number 2. This playlist called Gold School. It's 50 songs, 3.5 hours.
Awesome. Okay, we will definitely link to that in the show notes and on the page on the site. So check that out. And, okay, my other one from 2017, which kind of flew under the radar. Are you familiar with Mr. Heavenly at all?
No, I am not. Mr. Heavenly.
Okay, they are, I guess what you would kind of define as an indie supergroup of sorts. Are you familiar with Man at all?
I am not.
Okay. Lead singer of Man, who goes by Honus. You've also got what I believe is the lead singer of Islands, a band that I'm not that familiar with. And then you also have the drummer from the Shins and Modest Mouse, Joe Plummer.
Oh, doesn't that sound like a made-up name? Like, what's that guy's name? Joe Plummer.
Yes. Not Joe the Plumber, but
just Joe Plum.
Yes.
JP.
So their 2017 their 2017 album, Boxing in the Moonlight. My girlfriend, Veronica, huge fan of Man, and Mr. Heavenly. She turned me on to them, and then, boom, they had an album come out, and I kind of missed it in my trying to catch up on everything from the year, make my top 10, et cetera, et cetera. But it's a lot of different influences that you wouldn't think would work together, but it just does. Basically, you got 2 kind of lead male vocals. They don't really do harmony at all.
Weird.
But it pairs well together. You got to check it out. I think you'll be sold, at least within the first 3 tracks, but I'm going to play Blue Lines here, which is the second song off of Boxing the Moonlight, and that is the second album that I have been enjoying quite a bit in the month of January.
roaming our hallways with glowing eyes. Nobody's home, answering the phone. You said you weren't about it, but all you love the tone of bee in your bonnet. You got all the tea in China, I got zero feelings on it. Give or take a plus or minus.
I've got it saved. I'm looking forward to this.
Okay. So hopefully people have some suggestions, some stuff they can check out, and they've enjoyed the clips thus far. So now, where do you want to go? You want to go TV? You want to go movies? Leaving it up to you. You're the guest, sir.
I want to go TV. I don't know if people will like this. Erica and I watch a lot of sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I put that inflection there. Sci-fi. I'm hooked on Stargate SG-1.
Okay. Sell me on Stargate SG-1.
Well, let us start with, it has Richard Dean Anderson.
MacGyver himself. But he's kind of this, like, Harrison Ford-ish character. Mm-hmm. You know, so it starts out with, like, you know, they discover the Stargate, where they can travel to different worlds. Apparently there are Stargates thrown across the galaxy, and you can walk through one and walk out the other. And we find one on Earth, and they figure out how to use it. And so they pull Richard Dean Anderson out of retirement to lead the Stargate unit known as SG-1. And he is just cranky. He just snaps back about everything. If anyone starts explaining science to him, he cuts them off. Okay. So he's just my hero. He like has this, like I said, very Harrison Ford like. So is he meant to be aping the vibe of Kurt Russell in the movie, or is it definitely kind of pitched in a different direction?
He jumps off from there. Okay. But definitely like a little bit. God, that was the thing I was trying to tell. Say that the other day. Who the actor was? I was like, no, not Val Kilmer. Who's the other guy? Who's in that group?
That Tombstone group.
Yes.
Not on my list for this month, but I did rewatch Tombstone recently.
Oh shit!
Pretty
How's
much
it hold up? Yeah.
Dialogue-wise, across the board, just fantastic performances. The actual like structure of the movie and some of the editing choices, which I don't know if you know the history of that movie. It was like there was a director on board, and then he got fired midway through the shoot.
Oh, I didn't.
They brought in another guy, but basically Kurt Russell like ghost directed huge chunks of it, but then he didn't get to edit the final movie. And so when you go back, like the third act is kind of a total mess, but the dialogue is just so strong, and specifically the chemistry between Kilmer and Kurt Russell is like, it's still there. It's definitely worth rewatching.
You see, that becomes way more important to me in like anything I watch now. I guess especially movies though, because like I'll tear through 9 seasons of a show, you know, in like a month or two, and then I'll go to try and watch a movie, and I'm like, just hitting play. I see that there's you know 120 minutes to go. I'm like, there's not enough time. There is not enough time to do this. And it becomes about the dialogue, though, for me. If dialogue is good, then everything else to me can be a little subpar.
It can definitely carry the day most of the time. Okay, so back to SG-1 specifically. I know 10 seasons.
Is it 10 or 9? I can't remember.
Somewhere around there. Are we talking 22 episode seasons?
Oh yeah.
So, okay, we're talking a real commitment.
The good old days of series.
Yeah. Next Generation, etc.
Yeah. SG-1. Yes.
Yeah,
Who else does it have?
when you could get really weird because you had like essentially 12 to 15 filler episodes in any
totally.
given season. Yeah,
Yeah, you could have like you're basically each season you're building up enough like not B-roll because they use it in every episode, but like not important roll to make that one episode that's a complete flashback.
yeah.
Like that's how long this stuff is.
Always got to have the flashback episode.
But they kind of conquer like a little bit of the Star Trek thing where they come across like different races of people or species. Not these species because they're all human, but just different like walks of life and how to be open and how to respect. How to have a moral backbone. Like they run into like civilizations that have better technology than them, and they're trying to defend themselves. So do they steal it or do they not? All kinds of ethical like questions, and I don't know. I enjoyed that. I love that about Star Trek, so I love that about Stargate.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I definitely dig that. I think I may attempt to give it a shot. Do you know where it is streaming currently?
I do, and mind you, it's not pretty at first.
Gotcha.
It's a
lot
to
of
do with
mid-90s sci-fi TV. Yeah, leaves a lot to be desired. But
it's on Hulu.
okay.
And there's an offshoot. The Stargate Atlantis happens towards the end, which is really good. It's like a 4 or 5 season.
Starring early Jason Momoa, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I can't tell if he's great or awful. He's just got this like.
Did you see
he really
Aquaman?
talks like this.
Because I think that might help your decision.
Oh, I didn't.
I don't know if I even really meant to throw that much shade right there because he was perfectly serviceable. He just, I don't know.
Okay, I want to know, if you don't mind going off topic because it's the fun shit.
Absolutely.
How was he in Aquaman? Because I haven't seen it, but I do feel like acting is very director dependent. Mm-hmm. From my little understanding.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with that. None of the, I think it was a script problem, honestly.
Bummer.
All of the bits of comedy he was kind of required to play just really fell flat. The kind of like just light, effortless charisma carries you through the movie, even when some of the dialogue is not landing. Script's a little bit of a mess, but it has its moments. As far as DC movies go, it was a fun experience in the theater with my 2 buddies, which is the only reason we all went to go see it, was so we could talk shit about it and make fun of it together because we thought it would be a fun time. And it definitely provided a lot of fodder for that. But yeah, that was how I came away. I was like, he was kind of almost forgettable in it, where I was like, he was serviceable, but I don't know. But obviously, a lot of people probably disagree with me because it's a huge box office success.
True.
I mean, but yeah, for me, I haven't seen the like Game of Thrones level perform. And again, I think that's contextual. I think that's again script, direction, et cetera. So
yeah, and in Stargate Atlantis, he kind of plays like he's like essentially one of the natives that they pick up from a planet, and he joins like the unit, and so he goes on all the missions, and he's like the tough guy.
Gotcha.
And then they can show like the soft side out of nowhere, and you like him.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Well, what's yours on the TV?
Okay. Well, I guess up front, this does not count as one of mine, but I just want to plug Tuesdays with Noah and Gav, which is over on the TV Ark feed, and that's Gavin and I discussing season 3 of True Detective, which I know you to this point have not caught up on, correct?
Have not. Need to. I got to finish Stargate for the second time first.
So yeah, in the interest of that, I was gonna breeze right over it. Other than to say, like, you should definitely catch up on it soon. Episode 4 comes this Sunday, and very excited about it because usually that's a big deal. So whenever you do start watching it, you should definitely go and listen to our coverage. There's a lot of True Detective after shows out there, but if you want like the raw, rambling, like 35-40 minute version because Gavin can't get down here in time and we're literally recording it on Tuesday night and I'm trying to edit it and get it up before midnight, so it actually says Tuesday on iTunes because the show is called Truesdays and it's a play on words, and it would kill me if it said Wednesday on there. Anyways,
my name is Gavin.
That's just a little behind the scenes trash talking right there that I wanted to get on mic because for once I'm not recording with Gavin. This is such a rarity.
We can make fun of Gavin.
Oh, definitely. I don't even know if he'll listen to this.
We can have a podcast devoted
just to trashing Gavin, to tearing apart his opinions. I can tell you who would definitely want to be on that. That's Mr. Sunshine Mayfield, regular contributor to the site, who often calls me the morning after episodes drop and is like, your brother, man, like his movie taste. What are we going to do? His music taste. What are we going to do?
Nothing describes him more, or you two, the dichotomy, more than Bay of Lynch.
Yes. I mean, that's where
it is
that
shameless.
idea was birthed. Because I was like, yeah, if you had to like basically sum us up from a movie standpoint, it's got to be the Bay of Lynch.
You're going to hear snoring in the background. It's my dog.
That's totally okay. I've got a sleeping cat right now, but he may get into the mix by the time this is over. We'll see what happens.
My cat tried, but I threw him lightly.
Gotcha.
More of a toss. Yes. Oh boy.
As gentle as possible. How many animals do you have around you right now? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, just 3. 2 dogs and the cat.
Gotcha. I don't know why I always picture that it's like a menagerie there. But
No, it's not that bad. We used to have a lot of pets when we first met. Some of them were older.
I gotcha.
Yeah. But these two particularly are my boys. Kurt, the Frenchie.
Of course. Oh,
and Rick, the mini Aussie, who is this evenly... He's a big mini. Like, he's not an Aussie size. But when you see a mini, you're like, that's not right. That's too small. What the hell happened to you, Rick? Also, Rick is just the best name.
Of course. I was actually going to say that's a perfect transition. We were just talking about Mr. Sunshine Mayfield. You just mentioned Rick. And I hit up everybody before the recording of this, put it up on Twitter and Instagram if anybody had any questions for you specifically, that we'd incorporate them into the cast. And this is a perfect time to do so. Mayfield wanted to know, what's your favorite, or what's the best episode of Rick and Morty, in your opinion? Not your favorite, specifically, but what's the best episode of Rick and Morty? I guess maybe the one to sell people on, like, cold.
Oh, sell people cold. That's hard. Hang on, yes.
And you can ponder if you want to, and I'll hit you with one of my TV picks.
Let's see if, I don't know if this will sell them on it, but I'm pretty sure, too, this is when... Like, they got like women writers finally. I think around season 3. And season 3, episode 1 is just, speaking of dialogue, the most insane fucking written thing ever. When it's just like when they're still in the Shoney's, they never left the Shoney's. It just kills me. And then like, so he breaks out of the galactic, whatever it's called, and he's in a bug body, and just his dialogue from there is insane. He mentions like comedy comes in 3s because he has to leave behind some of his brain power to jump into a bug body, and then he does like another joke 3 times after that. It's just all kinds of nuance. Ugh, that episode is just so funny. That's the best episode, I think, hands down. Season 3, episode 1.
So that would be the Rick Shank Rickdemption?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's Nathan Fillion. Fillion? How you say his name?
Yeah, Fillion.
Yeah, I think that's him as the
He
bug.
is indeed. Yes, he is. Checking the IMDb right now. Okay, so here's my story with Rick and Morty. You are a big part of why I finally, like, after the enormous hype train and like just feeling like I'm behind, I missed the train, like everybody loves this show, I haven't checked it out yet. It was specifically like texting back and forth with you a little bit about it and hearing you talk about it and reference it on stage during shows, stuff like that, where I was like, all right, I feel so like late to the party, but like I gotta figure out what everybody's freaking out about.
Oh, yeah.
And so I purchased season 1 on Blu-ray cold, and then shortly afterwards got Hulu and everything. So I made my way through season 1 and savored it. And I have I have started season 2, but I have not even gotten to season. I've not even gotten to season 3, which isn't Pickle Rick and that whole thing in season 3.
Yeah, it is.
Season 2. Okay.
No, it's season 3. Season 2, though, is probably my favorite season to watch. It is so good. And it's hard to watch this show when everyone's telling you. It's like it's a repeat of Breaking Bad, you know? Like, I don't want to. God, stop telling me. And then you kind of get to gang up on people and, you know. Season 2, fuck. So good. But then, so you get this wait. Well, I didn't get the wait because I started like right when season 3 was coming out. But you watch those 2 seasons and you're kind of blown away. It's stupid quotable. And then you hit season 3, episode 1. And it's like, to me, it was like watching season 1 and 2 as a whole.
Awesome.
Good God. And the best part of the Pickle Rick episode isn't the pickle. It's, oh my God. Is it Susan Sarandon? Is that her name? Let's get this.
That is a name.
That's a name.
I don't know if she is in the episode.
Rick and Morty, Pick and Rick. It is Susan Sarandon. She's the psychiatrist, or I guess she would be a therapist, and her doctor name is Dr. Wong. And Beth goes, "Sorry, Dr. Wong. By the way, racist name."
Yeah.
It's just so it's stupid. Like they named her that name and made sure it was Susan Sarandon just to say racist. It's just why. Oh well. Anyways, she's the highlight of the whole episode.
Okay. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I've got to get back on that train. I've been too busy
happy
with the darkness of True Detective season 3 and more darkness because one of the other shows I've been enjoying this month is finally catching up with the assassination of Gianni Versace.
Whoa, what are you watching?
That's the second season of American Crime Story.
Damn, you. Oh, man. I need to start paying attention to you.
Okay. Did you watch the People versus O.J. Simpson?
I didn't. I was on tour, I think, when that came out, and I felt like I would get too consumed.
Gotcha.
And then I forgot.
That year, did you happen to catch the O.J. Made in America, like 6.5 hour documentary that came out right around the same time?
No. I missed all of that.
Whenever you have the time, sir, might be the single greatest documentary I've ever seen.
Okay.
Just in terms of like pure style, what it encapsulates, how much it manages to cover and be about that you would not expect them to even go into. It is brilliant on like every level. But the FX series is, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
The FX series is a great like companion piece to it, and it's interesting to see like this dramatic interpretation of it with huge name actors that you know.
Okay.
Season 2, the assassination of Gianni Versace, is not a case that I'm familiar with, like hardly at all. My only real relation to it is Modest Mouse's most recent album from a couple years back, Strangers to Ourselves, has a song called Pistol, which is literally about the assassin, Andrew Cunanan, and it's like written from his perspective, and it's super creepy and weird and dark. So,
Rad.
Anyways, I looked forward to getting into it, and actually managed to not have much of it spoiled. It came out, I think 2017. I don't know when it was airing. Exactly.
Where is it? It's on Amazon or?
It is available on Netflix right now, actually.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. I got that.
Yeah. So check it out there. It's so weird. Like Hulu has a handful of FX projects, but they don't get some things. Total side note, but as far as FX goes, have you watched Atlanta yet?
Okay, when they had maybe like the first 3 episodes, I had like a free trial for the app on Apple TV, but it ran so poorly that I gave up.
Oh, God. Okay.
So now I have enough to like watch it all on a go. So that's on the list. Obviously, moving forward is a hard thing for me. So
I will just say, basically, if you're watching any new show, if you're not rewatching something that you've seen before, that should be at the top of your list. I think season 2, combined with probably season 2 of The Leftovers and season 3 or The Return of Twin Peaks, probably like my top 3 favorite like isolated seasons of television I've seen in my lifetime.
You know, this is a crossover, by the way. I like Donald Glover a lot, obviously from Community, and then
Dan
once
Harmon, of course,
once I discovered Rick and Morty, discovered Dan Harmon, and I discovered Harmontown, which
great
was
podcast.
God, it's just ridiculous. And I do a lot of driving, obviously, and at the end of every tour, I drive alone to get home. You know, I got the guy who turns the lights off, I guess.
Gotcha.
And so I just put on like 2 episodes of that, and it just takes away the entire drive for me.
Are those almost exclusively live at this point?
Yes.
Is it always live?
There was a time where it was done in a studio whenever they were changing buildings because of some like liquor license thing.
Gotcha. Yeah,
There's video. I just haven't done it.
Oh, okay. It's not one that I keep up with regularly, but I always enjoy it when I do throw it on. It's usually, unfortunately, it's one of those that like, oh, I've run out of new episodes of like all of my current stuff. I'll dive back into that. But
yeah. And Dan Harmon refers to, like, people always ask him about Glover. They think he doesn't like him or something like that. He's like, he dismisses it, but he did say that his talent was scary. Like, he was just so good.
I mean, it is one of those situations where I don't say it publicly that much, but I always feel the need to be like, I was on the Donald Glover train back when he was part of Derek Comedy, his college comedy troupe.
Dude.
And those internet videos were just, in my friend group, constantly quoted and rewatched and reposted on like MySpace and all of that sort of Zanga stuff, all that sort of stuff.
Dude, I've only seen one, and I can't quote it because it's awful, but it was so funny.
I believe you're probably referring to the spelling bee.
Yes.
Yeah, that was actually my introduction as well. Shortly followed by Bro Rape, which, still holds up as a hilarious sketch, which features like Bobby Moynihan, who goes on to SNL.
Bobby Moynihan.
He was also. Have you seen Mystery Team, the Derek Comedy movie? Do yourself a favor. I think might be free streaming on Prime right now.
Okay.
I'd have to look it up, but it's basically the Derek Comedy movie about a bunch of high schoolers who have a detective agency and still basically think that they're in like kindergarten, but they're full grown teenagers, and it is raunchy as hell and super dark. It's also got early Aubrey Plaza, pre Parks and Rec, or maybe right at the beginning of Parks and Rec. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen that one.
Mystery Team?
Mystery Team, yes.
Got it. Whoa, he looks young.
Yeah, man.
She looks young.
So I think we got off on that tangent because specifically of Atlanta, but I can't recommend it more highly, man. Like you will tear through it once you start it, and it'll probably be one that you go back to like over and over again. I've rewatched both seasons, I think about 3 times a piece at this point.
Okay,
It just
sorry.
it is
I'm
wholly
excited.
unique and like has a vibe all its own. It manages to do so many different things tonally. It's mind blowing. Okay, but that's
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah. So did you give me a second TV one? Did we get to that? We brought up a lot of tangential stuff, but
Yeah, I feel like that was going to be more fun.
yeah.
And now I'm on
that
this
definitely
whole...
branched out to that. Do you want to move on to movies,
Yeah.
or do you
Let's
have
do
any
that.
other TV thoughts?
No, I think between Rick and Morty and Stargate, we've covered the vastness. Movies,
Oh,
go ahead.
One real quick shout out. This is kind of unofficially on my list because I ended up talking about True Detective more than I planned to. The Real Bros of Simi Valley is one of my favorite things right now. My buddy
Real
Tim
Bros.
Niles turned me on to it. Started out as a YouTube series, and it is now part of Facebook Watch, which everybody has access to if you have a Facebook account. It's totally free.
I have never heard of this Facebook Watch.
Okay. Are you familiar with American Vandal, the Netflix series?
No, sir.
Okay. This is going to be a long bird walk. Just go with me, man. Okay.
Bird
So
walk.
I'm also fighting a cat, like while I'm telling you this. So totally multitasking here. Anyways.
Gotcha.
Okay. American Vandal is essentially a mockumentary style series parodying the true crime genre, like Making a Murderer, Serial, The Jinx, etc.
Okay.
And it is set in a high school, and the scandal or crime, the event, is that somebody drew a bunch of dicks all over cars in the parking lot with spray paint. Okay? And that is the setup. That's the premise. And you're like, okay, this would be funny for like a 20-minute or maybe like a 15-minute short, like joke parody film. But they stretch this concept through an entire season of television. They're like
My
half-hour
God.
episodes. And the commitment to the bit is some of the most genius writing ever, dude.
I was
Okay?
going to say, they pull it off.
Yes, and they have a season 2. That's it. Apparently, it's not coming back for season 3. Season 2 is fantastic as well. But in season 1, the main person who is accused of drawing the dicks, hashtag who drew the dicks, that's how
my
they
God.
promoted it at the time, is played by a guy named Johnny Tatro, who is kind of like a YouTube upstart, recording comedy videos with his friends, etc., etc. Part of what he did was The Real Bros of Simi Valley, which is essentially like a parody of The Hills crossed with Jersey Shore, but specifically about like the young bro mentality mixed with a little bit of like skaters in there as well. And it's set in Simi Valley, and I don't know that I really ever knew anything about Simi Valley, but yeah, it's genius, dude. The first couple episodes are just like little 6-minute episodes on YouTube, but when they got picked up by Facebook for the second season, which is airing right now, new episodes every Friday, they expanded it out to like 15-minute episodes, and they're just so like perfectly bite-sized, incredibly funny, like laugh a minute, 10, 15 laughs a minute kind of thing. It's Fast and Furious sort of stuff. It's amazing.
I'm
Check it
following
out.
now.
It is, yes. I recommend starting with the YouTube series, but you could just dive in to season 2, where they give you a very clean and concise recap of basically the funniest moments of the first season.
Gotcha.
But-
I thought that maybe they pulled it from YouTube to Facebook. I see now. They're split. Okay.
So you'll know within like 5 minutes whether this is up your alley, and I absolutely love the tone of it, and just great performances. Again, the commitment to the bit in this one as well. They even have like behind the scenes stuff that they do, but everybody is in character for the behind the scenes stuff.
Oh my God.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
You'll see what I mean. Yeah, so that's my last little plug, Real Bros of Simi Valley. You can find part of it on YouTube and part of it on Facebook. Watch.
Got it. That's like
is
perfect.
a thing. Facebook Watch is a thing, apparently.
That's perfect when like I'm just kind of I need to start something new. Like I'm working, I'm mixing or something, and then I just hit save and close it out. I'm supposed to go on to what I'm doing next, but just need to like watch whatever's first on YouTube.
Oh, absolutely. You'll crush like the first season in an afternoon. Just bang them out.
That'll probably be better than like the Anderson Cooper straight to Colbert and then straight to work. Like
get some
part of
laughs
my
in
day.
there. I mean, not that Colbert doesn't have laughs, of course. But yeah.
Oh, he does. The content right now is just sad. So it's like, well,
yes,
I'm laughing, but I'm hurting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, yeah, let's keep ourselves distracted with more entertainment. And why don't you talk about a movie that you enjoyed this month?
This month, we watched for the second time Annihilation.
Okay.
So good.
I want you to start me with your thoughts on the first viewing, though.
First viewing. Kind of walked away a little bit like, what? Like, I got it, but just the pace and everything and the mood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just, not melancholy. There's just something that made me walk away feeling like kind of that, like, distraught nature that she has when they're kind of doing the flash forward to her being interviewed, basically, or interrogated.
Right.
The way she's responding there is the way I felt after the movie.
Okay.
It was strange.
I pretty much agree with you there, in as much as I felt like I had missed something because all of the hype leading into it, I had heard like, it's mind-blowing, and then I'm sitting there and I watched it and I was like, I think I got it, and I don't think that me getting it, like, I wasn't blown away by it. You know what I mean?
I see.
And Ex Machina, I was like over the moon for, right out of the gate. So
That's
I had
funny.
huge expectations for this. It's got Natalie Portman in it, probably still my favorite actress of her generation.
Oh, yeah.
And I was super pumped. And I did wrestle with it and just how I felt about it overall, because there's elements in the movie I really like. There's stuff that did work for me, but overall, like you're saying, yeah, a lot of the pace, the editing, and the style wasn't necessarily, I don't know, it just didn't hit for me. But I did look forward to revisiting it, and I know it's streaming now, so I should probably give it a second chance. So, improved for you on a second watch?
Yeah, I kind of admire like how intentionally just what's the word for it? They're like breaking new ground here, but they're at their own pace with no regard for other movies. I feel like
he's definitely speaking his own filmic language at this point. Yeah,
absolutely. Which, by the way, what's her name? There it is, Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in Twin Peaks.
Yes, she is. I just watched. We're in the back half, so she's still around. Her and Tim Roth are still hanging out in that van.
Which I also need to do a second lap. But yes,
this is my second lap on that one.
I loved her character in Annihilation. Like, she talks so just beaten.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, something about it was kind of nice. Like, not like beaten, like she's abused, like she's just over it.
Yeah.
And fearless. And I guess kind of obsessed too in a way. But yeah, I didn't mind the pacing of it. Truly the first time I didn't either. I will say I thought it was going to be more of an action movie the way they set up the trailers.
Definitely.
I
think it's a hard movie to sell. Sure.
Yeah. But it really, they could have just done next to nothing. Like it's Natalie Portman. It's a good sci-fi story. It's a bestseller book.
Yeah. It got me there in the theater day one.
Yeah.
Have you read the book, by the way?
Have not. I'm pretty sure Erica has, which is the case for most things. Have not.
I've heard and listened to on various podcasts Garland talk about adapting it, and how he basically told the author from the get-go, he was like, I can't do like a straight adaptation of this book. Like, I don't know how to do that in the film world. He's like, I only know how to interpret it the way that I'm going to. So here's what I'm going with, and if you give me the thumbs up, this is how we're going to proceed. But the book is book 1 in a 3-part series, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I don't know. That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure, and I think Alex Garland said from the get-go, he's like, I designed my movie to, like, I'm not making another one of these. So it does have, while it does have a little bit of ambiguity, he kind of feels like everything is there. Like, everything I wanted to say is on the screen. I'm not coming back to this universe or this material. So I think just
I wish he would.
Well, you know, that may change. I know it was definitely a disappointment at the box office, but I know internationally it was distributed through Netflix, like day and date when it came out here. All the foreign territories just got it streaming on Netflix. So I think as time has rolled through, and it was on a lot of year-end lists, cracked a lot of people's top 10s, a lot of well-known critics. So I think a lot of people are going to reassess it, and it already has that like cult-like following around it. So
yes.
I look forward to checking it out again. It definitely, you know, it's something I will revisit and give another shot, because Garland in general, just between writing 28 Days Later, even like The Beach, I enjoy. And Ex Machina, like I said, for recent sci-fi is kind of top shelf for me at this point.
It's funny. I have fallen asleep, even though that movie I know is good. It's just the bad opportunities I've watched it under. I've fallen asleep both times.
It's also definitely a movie that lulls you in, and that's what I'm saying is he had such a command of the pace in that film, which is essentially it's a 3-person play, or kind of a 4-person play. I don't know how you want to look at it, but and you know, in a closed environment, and I thought the way it managed that, and it's a fairly lengthy runtime, if I'm not mistaken, totally works for me, but it does get into that like sleepy vibe in the early goings. So yeah, watching it.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I could see you dozing off, but definitely check out Ex Machina in its entirety at some point. Let me know what you think, and I will watch Annihilation and let you know what I think after a second viewing.
All right, fair enough. I sense a weekend where one of us falls asleep midday.
Yes.
And I will take advantage of that. Yeah, if I watch anything laying down, I have trained myself essentially just to pass out, and I always try to watch that one at night. I'm like, what am I doing? It's like put on Lord of the Rings to go to bed, which I have, and just, you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That was your pick? Annihilation?
Yes. That was my pick. And I think yours... no, your rebuttal was Ex Machina. You haven't said your pick.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and cheat here anyways, because I basically have 4 movies. But for one of my slots, I guess, do you have any familiarity with the Fire Festival and the 2 documentaries that are out now? One on Hulu, one on Netflix.
I know about. Have you seen them, and are they great?
I have seen both of them. They are worth watching. That is how I will put it. They were entertaining. They both have their pros and cons, if you will. Overall, I like the Netflix one a little bit better, a little more stylish. I like the approach to the way it like handled the narrative a little bit more. Not as many talking heads in that one early on. Okay. More just like showing you the footage from the time to tell the story.
Which is truly what I'm interested in.
Yeah. And the Hulu one features the guy at the center of it all, Billy McFarlane, and he's actually interviewed in it. They paid to interview him, et cetera, et cetera. So you get his perspective in it, but the dude's like a sociopath and you can't trust anything he says anyways. So it's like, it doesn't really add that much to the narrative having him there. But it's kind of one of those cases where if you could fuse both of the movies together, I feel like you'd have closer to like a, you know, really memorable product. But more than anything, all we're talking about is like, oh, which one did you like better, et cetera, which is good for both movies, because arguably if Netflix had released early and Hulu was late to the party, the Hulu one's probably a little bit more forgotten just because Netflix has a bigger base. But
Right.
Hulu stealthily released theirs, I think like 2 or 3 days before the Netflix one came out. And so then it became okay, well, which one are you going to watch first? And you got to watch both because you get these different perspectives, et cetera, et cetera. So
Yeah.
I think it's amazing that event actually managed to sustain 2 hour-and-a-half-long documentaries. And, like, there's not a ton of overlap, shockingly, in who
Really?
they talk to and the way that it's approached. So I definitely recommend check them both out, almost
gonna
back
say-
to back. Just make it a giant 3-hour adventure.
How much of the story exists? Like, is there really 2 documentaries worth that don't overlap?
Well, again, the events, obviously, that they're covering overlap. The approach is very different. And again, who they talk to and the perspectives that you get is
Okay.
kind of what separates the two.
Fair enough.
And I will say that the Netflix one goes a little more into the consequences on the back end, whereas the Hulu one focuses a little more on trying to draw like direct parallels to like, this is what's wrong with millennials, this is what's wrong with scammers,
Okay.
et cetera, et cetera. And some of those kind of heavy-handed points and the more like pop documentary style of it, I didn't really respond to. But regardless, they're both pretty slickly produced, and they're worth watching. It's worth
Okay.
checking out. They're good for
I'm
a
in.
laugh.
I'm in. Is it, I'm worried I'm going to get like really mad or start like, or if they're too clever on it, I start like empathizing with the asshole.
Right.
You know?
The Hulu one maybe leans a little more in that direction, but yeah.
Okay.
The Netflix one, not so much.
Movies can do that to me if they try hard enough. Like I have to like shake it off. Like wait. Why do I feel bad for this person?
Yeah. No, they are the empathy machine. It can be dangerous sometimes, for sure.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so those are kind of like paired together. Technically, it's 2 movies, but I'm going to count them as one, whatever. So I'll go ahead and jump in with another, because I know you've got one more. I rewatched Unbreakable for the first time in like 6-7 years, because of course Glass came out this weekend.
How did that feel now that there's more story?
Well, I talk a little bit about Split with you and my experience with that in the theater.
Okay.
So my mom comes down to visit Charleston, and we go to the movies. Me, her, and my girlfriend Veronica. Veronica's never seen Unbreakable. That'll become blatantly obvious in just a minute. So I'm watching the movie. It's going along, and I'm like, at this point, I'm warming back up to Shyamalan because I enjoyed The Visit. I don't know if you saw it, but
Didn't.
it was weird and out there and hilarious and dark and twisted, and I thought it was cool. I dug it. So I was like, all right, what else has he got? Maybe he's going to get back to his former glory. So sit down for Split. I'm enjoying it as it's going by, but I do have that sneaking suspicion that just like, this is maybe not going to be as satisfying as I was hoping it was going to be. Not really as scary as I was expecting, but I was enjoying James McAvoy's performance, that whole element of it, and Anya Taylor-Joy, the lead girl, also very strong. We get to the end of the movie. Things have wrapped up. I'm like, okay, satisfying end. Good entry. I liked it about as much as I liked The Visit. Solid. And then you get the last, minute or 40 seconds where you reveal Bruce Willis, you play the Unbreakable theme, and you show us that it is connected, and this is a stealth sequel to Unbreakable, which has always been my favorite Shyamalan movie, personally.
Right. Okay.
I don't know how you... and I just in a second, I want to get into how you feel about him generally, because I have no idea. We've never talked about him before. But
Wait, Willis or...
Shyamalan, specifically.
I don't know if I can speak to him. I can definitely speak to Willis, though.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and say Unbreakable is one of my favorite Bruce Willis performances because of how understated he is. And
Very.
how, toned down he is.
He's kind of meek.
Yes, definitely. Which is why I'm interested to see how he performs in Glass, just given that, like, I don't feel like he's been in a real character-driven role in a while, really since maybe Moonrise Kingdom, which is still, like, you're playing in the Wes Anderson verse, so that's a whole thing unto itself.
Yeah.
But, okay, so all of a sudden Split goes from, oh, the movie was pretty good, to, holy shit, he just pulled a magic trick, like, a decade later. He made a stealth sequel to a movie that I absolutely love, and it basically hints that there's going to be a third one. So I was ecstatic. Me and my mom are flipping out when Bruce Willis shows up on screen, and my girlfriend Veronica is just sitting there. Like, what are you guys flipping out about? Because she's like, why is Bruce Willis all of a sudden in this movie? She has no context for it whatsoever.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Exactly. So I have not seen Glass yet. I'm super excited to. It has incredibly mixed reviews right now. But I'm a Shyamalan fan overall. I didn't really completely fall off the wagon until The Happening. That's when I decided to part ways.
Yeah.
And and The Visit kind of brought me back, and then Split, and then I'm excited for Glass. But I still say Unbreakable, my favorite thing he's ever done. So
okay, fair enough.
I think it's worth checking out. I think it still holds up way more than I was expecting it to.
See, I've got a list here then.
Okay.
And I need to do it. Well, I'm saying of what to watch again.
Oh, of what to watch. Yes, of course.
Well, because years ago, you gave Erica and I a box set, Kubrick.
Yes,
Remember
sir.
that? Mm-hmm. And that kind of, cause I didn't grow up like loving directors or movies, besides just movies, but
Right.
so this was new to me, and I got that box set, and I realized that I need to watch things accordingly, like to a collection. So maybe I can spend some time with him.
That I assume you've seen Sixth Sense at least.
Of course, yeah.
I think it's worth journeying through the filmography, because where where the turn is for you, because I remember people that were like off board with Unbreakable, right after Sixth Sense and the enormous success of it. They were like, no, this movie didn't work for me. I remember
worked for
people
me.
that felt that way about Signs, which is still one of my favorites. And then The Village is the first time I ever felt it in the theater, where people were actively mocking the movie around me that I was enjoying. And I was like, this is a really big disconnect. Like, I think this movie is firing on all cylinders. Everybody else thinks it's hokey and not scary.
Is he polarizing?
He's very polarizing.
I wouldn't think that, but I think you're right. I watched The Village and just remember being kind of freaked out. I liked it.
Yeah. I thought it was creepy, and like the sci-fi twist ending and everything, it's not one of those where I'm like, that makes or breaks the movie for me.
Right.
The build up and what I felt the first time watching it, like, regardless of the payoff, it still made me feel those, those feelings. There you go.
That's Joaquin Phoenix, right?
It is.
Man, he's so
kind of pre-Joaquin becoming, basically, I mean, he's my favorite working actor, period.
Yeah?
I love everything he does. He had 3 movies last year, all of them wholly unique performances.
He's a hard worker. You gotta love that.
Yes, I cannot wait for this Joker movie. The simple fact that he is taking it on interests me.
Right on.
We'll see what happens with it. I like the early footage we've seen.
I have a movie for you.
Okay, yes, give me a movie.
We are definitely going crazy on time, but who cares?
Definitely, and we can wrap up shortly for sure.
What are the consequences? Let's see here. What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh my God, sir! Now you are speaking my language.
Oh my God!
Probably top 3 comedies of the last 10 years for me.
Absolutely. I gotta find his name. Hold on. I can probably spout these off if I try, but I just don't want to get it wrong. Where are you? The werewolf. Werewolves, not swearwolves. That guy.
Yes. Oh my God, it's killing me right now too. I was like, I've got Taika Waititi ready to go. I've got Jermaine Clement ready to go, but of course it's not that guy we're trying to remember.
He's the producer in their other TV show. Is it like their manager
on Concords.
Yeah. Fuck. Anyways, there's just so many, like, I feel like we should just do like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing with this movie. But to where we just pause it and go, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Like when they say bat fight, I lose my fucking mind. Holy shit.
I hope we get the sequel that they have teased. I hope it's actually happening. Where we follow the werewolves or the weremen or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so funny.
If you have not seen What We Do in the Shadows, by all means, rush out. I actually need to catch up because there was the Hunt for the Wilder People.
I haven't seen that.
That's the one that Taika did after that, but before Thor Ragnarok. But it's Sam Neill, your boy Sam Neill from Jurassic Park. And it's him and like a young kid from New Zealand. The trailer is hilarious. It is on Hulu right now. I have still not watched it, but it got incredible reviews when it came out. Hunt for the Wilder People.
What a career, by the way. Taika, say his name?
Taika Waititi. I'm probably, I think I'm close.
Yeah, I didn't dare try, but geez, his span of movies is insane.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he's young, too. It's 1975. That's nothing. Oh, by the way, the guy's name is it Rhys or Rice Darby?
Rhys Darby. That's right.
Rhys.
Yes. Gotcha.
R-H-Y.
Yes.
Man, that guy.
He's fantastic.
I'm just fucking laughing thinking about him in that movie.
Yeah.
Too good.
All right. So I think we've got some great recommends. The one last like stray thing, I rewatched a movie that is in its 20th year this year. I'm rewatching a lot of stuff from '99. That's the plan going forward throughout the rest of this year. I'm going to try and figure out what the best of that particular year was, because I think it kind of neck and neck with 2007 as maybe the best year for movies in my lifetime. You could argue. I rewatched The Matrix, sir.
All right.
First time in about 2 or 3 years.
I would love to know how it hit you, because I kind of want to revisit, and I kind of love Keanu Reeves.
Okay. You're talking to a man who has done a complete 180 on Keanu Reeves over the course of like the last 4 or 5 years. The John Wick movies alone, like my anticipation for Chapter 3, which comes out in a couple months, sky high. Cannot wait. Love Keanu Reeves. Okay. He's a hard sell at home. I'm like, hey, yeah, let's not watch this. Like he is the epitome to me. There's a certain type of movie star, flat out movie star, that will often be shoehorned into places that they should not be, and be pushed into roles that do not service what they do well. Okay?
Okay.
And I feel like that happened a lot with his career in the mid-90s, and that's where he kind of got this rep. But Matrix was very much a redemption of that. I mean, it's a huge, colossal success.
He makes that character.
100%. The fact that was supposed to be Will Smith at one point in its conception is mind-blowing to me. I cannot see it in my head. I really can't.
It would have been campy.
Yes. From the top, I think it 100% holds up, dude. I was shocked how much I still love that movie.
CGI aside.
The CGI, so I have a DVD copy of it, but it's the old school Warner Brothers like snap case. And I don't know if you know this, but if you put those on like a normal flat screen TV these days, you get that like fully boxed in, like letterbox style.
Oh.
Where it is widescreen, but you also have bars on the side. And so it wouldn't look that great. So I paid for the rental on Amazon to watch it in HD, because I was like, I don't know if I've seen The Matrix in HD or in 1080p, in my lifetime. It's always been VHS and then DVD. Threw it on, shocked how well the CGI held up, man. Like, seriously.
You know what? I have an argument for myself then, against myself. The question should really reference, or should... Let me rephrase that. The bad rap of the bad CGI, the alleged bad CGI, doesn't that really just pertain to that one scene, the fight scene on the third one?
I mean, yeah.
Like, is it?
I would say bits of 2 as well, where it is just so obvious. It's like there's not even an effort to hide that it is a digital character.
I guess shame on me for saying the series has bad CGI when it's just a few isolated parts where the budget was low. Or
that's what I've been warring with, honestly, man, is do I want to, I just watched it a couple nights ago. Do I want to watch Reloaded and Revolutions? Do I want to go down that road again?
Doesn't it sound like the Metallica records?
Yes.
Like the good one,
Reloaded,
like the first one.
and Revolutions.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been debating that, but I'm like, that never ends well. I always think I'm going to feel differently about the third one, and I never do. I'm always let down by it.
Okay.
The second one has some great action set pieces, but you get into that third act conversation with the architect and all the TV screens, and
Does that hurt for you?
I kind of go to sleep a little bit.
Okay. I'm a story. I love that there's more to the story. So that part was like, oh shit. Like I want to know the background story, like the side stories of like the Legend of Zelda.
Well, and this is what
excites me.
This is what I will also say. Like, okay, Reloaded in the theater as a kid, of course.
Wow.
I think that's why that didn't play for me. Is because I'm just like, it's just these guys talking, man. Like, I didn't appreciate the philosophy. I mean, The Matrix is one of those great movies that like you can see at a certain age or through a certain prism and enjoy it just as a pure action entertainment movie. And then there's all of this other depth to it, these grand concepts, et cetera, and you can grow with the movie and appreciate it in different ways. And that's why I think it is one of those that will stand the test of time. And I think you're going to see a lot of love for it in its 20th anniversary this year. So I may dive through the series again and see if I get more out of it. I might
join you
because I think some more clarity in those scenes that are so dialogue driven and feel like they're very like circular and just keep cycling back through the same thing. I feel like I might be able to parse them out a little bit better from my kid brain, because I haven't watched the sequels in quite a while.
Okay,
it's been a bit.
I might hit that first one up again then.
Well, I would love to do like an in-depth one on that at some point, and I've been trying to probably just as a regular thing on the movie arc for this year. We'll be hitting all the big 99 movies. You got Fight Club as well, Office Space, Election, American Beauty would probably be really problematic, so I probably want to bring that one up.
Well, we can
think about, but yeah, 99's a killer year for movies.
Let's do just the first episode of The Matrix, and we'll call it Red Pill, Blue Pill, Drugs Kill. That's the name of our episode. Okay.
I'll make the artwork tonight. Okay.
Done.
Okay.
It's the picture or the shot where he's kind of bending backwards, and you can, whenever he bends to the left, you can still see like a little transparent version of him on the right, that shot, but it's me on the left and you on the right, but the same body.
Oh, dude. I'll see if I can pull that off.
Okay, you got it. It's just gonna be like taped on heads.
Yes, it'll be the worst Photoshop ever.
Looking forward to it.
Definitely. Okay. So yeah, that was the first episode of 2x2. We talked about a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, man. I love to ramble. You love to ramble.
I do. But yeah, I appreciate your time, and I don't want to keep you any longer because I know you've got a giant list of stuff that you've got to get to. So
it's all selfish, but giant nonetheless.
Absolutely. For this month's episode of 2x2, I have been Noah, and I've been here with my very special guest, Mr. Nathan Hussey. Thank you once again, Nate, for joining me.
Yeah.
And until next time, have a good one, guys. Peace.
Still, I wonder where you come from. I'm so anxious, you just calm. I could wait here. Oh, I'll just wait here. Not much left to take.